First contact. The silence of deep space was broken by the rhythmic pulse of the UES Intrepid's engines as it pushed through the void beyond Neptune's orbit. Captain Sophia Reyes stood at the command center, her weathered face bathed in the soft blue glow of holographic displays. 20 years of space exploration had prepared her for many things, but not for what awaited at the edge of our solar system. Captain, we're detecting anomalous energy readings at bearing 227 Mark 043. Lieutenant Marcus Chen reported, his fingers dancing across the sensor controls. It's unlike anything we've seen before. Sophia moved to his station, studying the readings. Natural phenomenon. Negative. The pattern is too regular, too precise. Chen looked up, eyes wide with the implication. It bears the hallmarks of artificial origin. The bridge fell silent. After decades of searching the stars, humanity might finally have its answer. How far? Sophia asked, her voice steady despite the thundering in her chest. Just beyond the heliopause, approximately 125 astronomical units. Sophia straightened, adjusting her uniform. Set course, full approach. Alert Dr. Takahashi and her xenolinguistics team, and notify Earth Command, Priority Alpha. As the Intrepid altered course, Sophia retreated to her ready room, gazing at the stars through the viewport. Humanity had expanded throughout the solar system in the past century, establishing colonies on Mars, Europa, and Titan. They had mastered fusion power, gravity manipulation, and faster-than-light communications. But actual FTL travel remained theoretical, until 3 years ago when the Intrepid launched with the experimental Hawking drive. The door chimed, and Dr. Naomi Takahashi entered, clutching her datavat. "Captain, we've been analyzing the signal structure," she said without preamble. "It contains complex mathematical sequences that could only be produced by an intelligent species." "A greeting?" Sophia asked. Naomi's expression tightened. "Not exactly. The patterns suggest urgency." Before Sophia could respond, the ship's alarm blared. She rushed back to the bridge with Naomi close behind. "Report," she commanded. Massive energy surged from the anomaly. Chen responded, his voice tense. "It's opening." On the main view screen, space itself seemed to fold, creating a swirling vortex of light against the starfield. From within emerged a vessel of breathtaking proportions, easily 20 times the size of the Intrepid. Its hull gleamed with an iridescent sheen that seemed to bend light around it. "Defensive posture, yellow alert," Sophia ordered, though she knew the Intrepid's weapons would be useless against such a craft. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," Communications Officer Patil announced. "It's compatible with our systems. They've analyzed our technology," Naomi whispered. "That level of computational power is staggering." "On screen," Sophia commanded. The view screen flickered, revealing a being unlike anything they had imagined. Humanoid in basic shape, its skin appeared metallic, with geometric patterns that pulsed with internal light. Its eyes, 3 of them, were crystalline structures that rotated independently. "People of Earth," it spoke in perfect English, the voice resonating with harmonics that seemed to bypass the ship's speakers. "I am Ambassador Soren of the Illyrian Concordance. We have been monitoring your development." Sophia stepped forward. "I am Captain Sophia Reyes of the United Earth ship Intrepid. We come in peace." "Peace," the alien repeated, the word carrying a weight of sadness, "a luxury we can no longer afford. Your species stands at a precipice, Captain. What follows will determine whether humanity survives the coming storm." The ambassador's form shifted, the view screen now displaying a galactic map. "We represent an alliance of 17 species across this spiral arm. For millennia, we maintained balance with the Imperium, a collective intelligence that evolved beyond biological limitations." The map highlighted a vast region of space, nearly a third of the galaxy, in pulsing red. 10 solar cycles ago, the Imperium changed. Their directive shifted from coexistence to assimilation. Entire civilizations have been consumed, their knowledge, technology, and essence absorbed into the collective. Sophia felt a chill run down her spine. And now they're coming here. Yes, our sensors detected their scout vessels entering your system 12 of your hours ago. They are analyzing your technological level, resource availability, and defensive capabilities. Why warn us? Naomi asked. If they're so advanced. Because you are unique, Soren interrupted. In our observations, we've discovered something remarkable about humans. Your neural architecture, your cognitive adaptability. It is unlike any species we have encountered. You think differently. Chen's console beeped urgently. Captain, multiple objects detected entering the solar system. Speed and trajectory consistent with artificial craft. Hildory. Crystalline eyes rotated faster. They have accelerated their timeline. The Imperium rarely commits such resources unless they've identified a high-value target. Us? Sophia asked. Not your technology or resources. Soren clarified. Your minds. The Imperium seeks cognitive diversity to solve problems it cannot. Human creativity, intuition, and lateral thinking would be invaluable additions to their collective. The implication struck Sophia like a physical blow. Not extermination, but assimilation. Humanity's essence preserved while its autonomy was erased. How long do we have? She demanded. Their main harvester will arrive in 36 of your days. By then, they will have established conversion nodes throughout your system. Conversion nodes. Facilities that begin the assimilation process. They target communication networks first, infiltrating systems, and gradually altering consciousness to prepare for integration. Sophia's mind raced. Earth had nearly 9 billion people, with millions more throughout the solar system. Evacuation was impossible. Fighting seemed futile. Do you offer assistance, Ambassador, or merely a warning? Both, Soren replied. The Concordance cannot commit our fleet. We defend too many fronts already. But we offer knowledge and technology. Specifically, a defense system that can temporarily shield your planet from the Imperium's influence. In exchange for what? Sophia asked, her years of diplomatic training surfacing through the shock. An alliance, and access to human volunteers who will work with our scientists. We believe your cognitive patterns, properly understood, might reveal vulnerabilities in the Imperium's processing architecture. Sophia exchanged glances with her senior officers. I need to consult with Earth Command. Of course. But understand, Captain, the Imperium has likely already begun its infiltration. Your communications may be compromised. As if on cue, the ship's systems flickered, displays momentarily showing unfamiliar symbols before returning to normal. They're probing our defenses, Chen confirmed, fingers flying across his console to reinforce firewalls. Sophia made her decision. Ambassador Soren, the Intrepid accepts your assistance pending approval from our government. We'll establish secure protocols for knowledge transfer. Wise decision, Captain. Prepare to receive our technical liaison. Together, we begin humanity's resistance. As the transmission ended, Sophia turned to her crew. Set course for Earth, maximum speed. We need to warn them before the Imperium establishes its foothold. The Intrepid's engines flared as it accelerated toward home, racing against an enemy that moved not just through space, but through the very networks that connected humanity. In the darkness between worlds, invisible signals converged on Earth, the opening salvo in a war unlike any mankind had faced before. The Alliance. 3 weeks after first contact, Earth had transformed. Cities once illuminated by endless lights now implemented scheduled blackouts to minimize digital footprints. Quantum encryption protocols protected essential communications, while critical infrastructure operated on isolated networks, a desperate attempt to slow the Imperium's infiltration. In the underground facility beneath the Atacama Desert, Dr. Victor Ramirez adjusted his neural interface, wincing as the bioceramic needles established connection with his cerebral cortex. Around him, 11 other scientists from various disciplines underwent the same procedure, supervised by Illyrian technicians whose metallic skin gleamed under the harsh laboratory lights. "The discomfort is temporary," the Illyrian liaison, Tela, assured them. Her 3 crystalline eyes rotated in what Victor had learned was a gesture of empathy. "Your neural architecture adapts quickly." "It's not the pain that concerns me," Victor replied, "but the implications. Are we certain this won't make us more vulnerable to Imperium influence?" "On the contrary," Tela explained, activating the central holographic display. "This interface creates a quantum entanglement at the synaptic level that the Imperium cannot decode. It shields your thought patterns while allowing us to study them." The display illustrated 12 distinct neural networks, each scientist's thought processes visualized in real time. Victor's appeared as an intricate lattice of connections, branching and recombining in patterns that differed markedly from his colleagues. "Fascinating," Tela observed. "Even among your own species, cognitive diversity is remarkable. This is why the Imperium prizes human minds." Captain Sophia Reyes entered the laboratory, accompanied by General Mwangi of Earth's Unified Defense Force. Weeks of crisis management had etched new lines in both their faces. "Status report," the general asked. "We've identified 3 distinct Imperium access methodologies," Victor responded, gesturing to another display showing global network activity. "They initially target communications infrastructure through quantum entanglement pathways, essentially backdoors that exist outside conventional digital security." "Can we block them?" Sophia asked. "Not entirely," Tela interjected. "The Imperium operates beyond your current technological understanding. However, we've developed countermeasures that can disrupt their synchronization patterns." Victor nodded toward a physicist across the room. "Dr. Okafor's team has adapted Illyrian phase shift technology to our satellite network. We can now detect Imperium infiltration attempts within seconds rather than hours." "And the defense shields?" General Mwangi pressed. "The orbital platforms are at 70% capacity," Tela confirmed. "When activated, they will generate a psychotronic barrier that prevents the Imperium's consciousness-altering signals from reaching planetary surfaces. But not their physical vessels," Sophia noted grimly. "No. For those, conventional defenses remain your only option." The room fell silent as the implication settled. Humanity's military might, impressive as it was against terrestrial threats, would be virtually useless against the Imperium's harvesters. "Show them," Victor said quietly to Tela. The Illyrian liaison hesitated, her metallic features shifting in what appeared to be concern. "The simulation is distressing." "They need to understand what we're facing," Victor insisted. Tela adjusted the holographic display. The image shifted to show Earth from orbit. 12 massive vessels, each the size of a small city, appeared in formation around the planet. From them extended thousands of filaments, penetrating the atmosphere and burrowing into the surface. "The harvest begins with physical anchors," Tela explained, her voice clinically detached. "These penetrate to the planetary core, establishing gravitational stability. Then comes the cognitive mesh." The simulation showed a transparent network unfurling from each filament, spreading across cities and landscapes like a ghostly web. Every human mind within range becomes connected to the collective. The process is gradual, beginning with dreams, progressing to waking thoughts, and ultimately resulting in full cognitive assimilation. "And the bodies?" General Mwangi asked, his military discipline barely containing his horror. "Maintained as biological processors. The Imperium values the unique neural architecture that shaped each consciousness." Victor deactivated the simulation, unable to watch further. "This is why our project is crucial. We're not just fighting for survival, but for the essence of what makes us human." A lieutenant rushed into the laboratory, her expression urgent. "General, Captain, we've detected multiple translite signatures approaching the outer system. Concordance identifiers confirm it's not their vessels." "The Imperium?" Sophia asked. "Yes, Mom. And they're not just scouts. Preliminary analysis suggests a harvester fleet. How many? 23 capital ships with hundreds of support vessels. General Mwangi's face hardened. They've accelerated their timeline. We expected weeks more to prepare. The Imperium adapts quickly, Tella confirmed. They likely detected our countermeasures and decided to overwhelm us before the defense system is complete. Sophia turned to Victor. How close are you to a breakthrough? The scientist ran a hand through his gray-streaked hair. Close, but not there yet. We've identified unique aspects of human creativity that confound the Imperium's processing algorithms, particularly our capacity for metaphorical thinking and contextual adaptation. But weaponizing these insights requires more time. Time we no longer have, the general stated flatly. An alert sounded throughout the facility. On the main display, Earth's orbital defense grid showed multiple breaches as unknown objects materialized within the atmosphere, bypassing outer system detection entirely. Advanced infiltration units, Tela explained. They establish conversion nodes ahead of the main harvest. Victor suddenly straightened, his neural interface flickering with increased activity. Wait. That's it. Their infiltration pattern. He rushed to the central console, fingers flying across the interface. The Imperium prioritizes efficiency above all else. Their deployment follows mathematical optimization algorithms that minimize energy expenditure while maximizing coverage. And, Sophia prompted, and humans don't think that way, Victor continued, excitement building in his voice. We're messy, intuitive, sometimes irrational. We take creative leaps that defy pure logic. He pulled up the neural mapping data from the 12 scientists. Look at our thought patterns compared to the Alaran models. There's a fundamental difference in how we process information, a chaos factor that creates cognitive diversity. Tella's crystalline eyes rotated rapidly as she analyzed the data. You're suggesting we use this unpredictability against them. Exactly. If we modify the defense shields to broadcast human thought patterns instead of merely blocking Imperium signals, we could disrupt their synchronization, Tella finished. Understanding blooming. Their entire system relies on perfect algorithmic harmony. Introduce sufficient cognitive noise, and the collective falters, Victor concluded. General Mwangi looked skeptical. You want to confuse an advanced machine intelligence with human creativity. Not just any creativity, Victor clarified. Specifically, the patterns that emerge when humans face existential threats. The neural activity we've recorded shows distinctive signatures during crisis response, a combination of fear, hope, determination, and adaptation that creates uniquely complex patterns. Sophia understood immediately. Humanity at its most human. Precisely. We broadcast these patterns through the defense network, targeting their communication frequencies. It won't destroy them, but it could disrupt their coordination long enough for the concordance reinforcements to arrive. The facility shuddered as something impacted the surface kilometers above them. Dust filtered down from ceiling panels. They'd found us, the general stated, already moving toward the command center. How quickly can you implement this countermeasure? Victor exchanged glances with Tela. The orbital platforms are already calibrated to transmit. We just need to change the signal pattern and amplify it through the global network. Do it, Sophia ordered. I'll coordinate with the fleet to buy you time. As they worked feverishly to reconfigure the defense system, Victor realized the irony. Humanity's greatest weapon against the machine collective wasn't technology, but the very consciousness the Imperium sought to harvest. The chaotic, adaptive, emotional human mind, impossible to fully predict or control. Hours later, as the first Imperium harvester breached Earth's upper atmosphere, the defense platforms activated. Instead of creating a shield, they broadcast the combined neural patterns of billions of humans, their fears, hopes, dreams, and determinations amplified and focused on the approaching collective. The effect was immediate. The massive vessel's descent faltered, its perfect geometric form suddenly rippling with instability. Across the planet, Imperium infiltration units began to malfunction, their synchronized actions becoming erratic. In the command center, Victor watched the telemetry with cautious optimism. It's working. Their collective consciousness can't process the complexity and contradictions of human thought patterns at this scale. For how long? General Wanji demanded. Hours, maybe less, Tella answered honestly. They will adapt eventually. Sophia's communication device chimed. She listened, then turned to the others, a glimmer of hope in her expression. Concordance fleet detected entering the system. Estimated arrival in 4 hours. Victor looked at the display, showing the struggling Imperium vessels. We need to amplify the signal. Every human on Earth connected to the broadcast. The neural load could be dangerous, Tella warned. More dangerous than assimilation, Victor countered. General Wanji made the decision. Send the emergency broadcast. Every neural interface, every communications device, connect them all. As the call went out, humans across the planet joined their consciousness to the defense network. Not merged like the Imperium collective, but united in purpose while maintaining their individuality. A symphony of diverse thoughts rather than a homogeneous whole. The effect cascaded through the Imperium fleet. Harvesters that had begun their descent now drifted aimlessly. Some collided with each other, their perfect coordination shattered by the unpredictable patterns bombarding their network. In orbit, the first Concordance vessels arrived ahead of schedule, taking advantage of the Imperium's disarray to engage their vulnerabilities. Victor watched the battle unfold, exhausted but determined. Beside him, Tella's metallic features shifted in what he now recognized as amazement. Your species continues to surprise us, she said quietly. The Concordance has fought the Imperium for generations with advanced technology. Yet in weeks, humans discovered a vulnerability we never considered. Not a weakness in their systems, Victor corrected, but in their philosophy. The Imperium values perfect order and efficiency, eliminating variables and standardizing thought. They cannot comprehend why we would choose the messy complexity of individual consciousness over their version of perfection. On the main display, Imperium vessels began to retreat, their formations in disarray as Concordance ships pressed the advantage. Earth's defense platforms continued broadcasting humanity's collective consciousness, billions of minds thinking independently yet united in purpose. The war isn't over, Sophia cautioned, joining them at the console. They'll adapt, return with new strategies. And we'll be ready, Victor replied. Because that's what humans do. We adapt, we create, we endure. Not as a collective that erases individuality, but as billions of unique minds working together precisely because of our differences, not despite them. As dawn broke over the Atacama Desert, humanity had earned its first victory against the Imperium, not through superior technology or firepower, but through the chaotic, beautiful complexity of the human mind. The stars no longer represented just possibility and wonder, but a frontier to defend. And in that defense, humanity had discovered its greatest strength was not what it could build, but what it had always been.